Dream number 2, when I get out to South Dakota, I'm going to start a distillery. And I'm gonna create a scotch. And then one of these anal retentive motherfuckers, I was telling this guy my dream, he's like, you can't call it scotch because it's not in Scotland. It's not bourbon because it's not in Kentucky. It's not Bordeaux because it's not in France. You can all suck my dick communally and globally. You fucking... Those are the people I could do without... I mean, honestly, we kill all the anal retentive people. You're, they're, theirs. You fuckers into the pit of pain, of fire, and hell. Baba. Whatever, I will call it Glenn Clarey. It is Glenn Morangi, Glenn Levitt, Glenn Fiddick. Yeah, Glenn Clarey, there we go. It won't be called Scotch. It's not made in Scotland. It's not made in Scotland. You can't call it Scotch. You have to call it single malt barrel whiskey. You people. Honest to God, who are those people? Who are these ones that, who wants to be... Talk about Buzz Killington at a party. Just what the fuck is... who are you? What drives you in life? Fine. It won't be called Scotch. It'll be called Glenn Clarey. And it'll sit right next to the Scotch. And none of the fuckers of the world will know the difference because it'll be really good Scotch. Because there's this distillery for sale on Amazon. Like a hobby distillery. I'm like, ooh, new hobby. I could go ahead and do that. Because I'm going to get back into making copper ingots. Going to get my foundry working again. Start melting... semi-precious metal or scrap metal, make ingots out of them because you can. But then this thing, I'm like, yeah, a little hobby, that'd be something to do. And you're like, and what's sad is it wasn't like a wife or a nagging middle-aged frumpy old woman saying it with hairy armpits. It was a guy. It's like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck, go get a job at the Women's Studies Department at the UM. Go hang out with your kind. Go hang out with the miserable people. Don't hang out here with the dreamers and the doers and the hustlers and the movers and the shakers. Go sit with the parasites and the whiners and the complainers and the miserables. And while you're at it, why don't you take a lesson from Kurt Cocaine and go off yourself? Oh, and then my other dream. And here's the thing. See, now I'm not going to give you, I'm going to tell you kind of what the product is, and you guys could go ahead and run with it, because this is a very risky business proposition, and I'm not going to do it. This would only be if I had billions of dollars. I would run this type of bar at a loss. But for the longest time, because you go to the bar, even my favorite bars, there's still got to be a goddamn television on, with these fucking morons on ESPN or Sports Center, and you can't even hear them. You can't hear them because they're just talking. But it is painful and takes away from the experience of drinking and conversation going to a bar. Because it's there. They got a bunch of big screen televisions. The fucking has-been washed up, never were athletes doing some kind of fucking analysis like they do on CNBC. Like, oh, we're going to apply science to the financial markets, even though it's a constantly changing and dynamic system, and no amount of mathematics will ever. There's no formula or algorithm. We're just going to apply and analyze it like science. You know how they do it on the Sunday morning political talk shows? See, we're going to do the same thing with science, but we're going to apply it to sports. At least politics and finance, there's like some kind of ramification for the rest of society. But sports, oh my God, fuck all. So it is not a thorn in my side. I'm trying to explain. These televisions, constantly we have to run sports. And multiple channels. Oh, there's soccer there, there's hockey there, there's baseball there, there's basketball there, there's sports analysis here. It's not like having a thorn in your side. It's a little bit more than that. It really is like having someone take a nail and drive it through your foot like you're Jesus Christ. It really takes that much away from the bar. So, I came up with this idea, and it was polished off with the Kingsmen. The Kingsman, the movie, because I knew I wanted like just kind of a quiet, like I would get rid of the screens. But then when I saw the Kingsman and the hero, he walks in and it's all quiet and reserved, and they're pouring the scotch like at the table, you know, where they have the round table of the knights with Michael Caine playing the one-time bad guy, and then he dies. But that I was like, wait a minute, that's it. That's it. It'd be like a cigar lounge, but you could smoke if you wanted to, but I would have a quiet bar. It would be the library bar. And you would walk in, there would be a dress code, there would be no televisions, there would be bookshelves, it'd be very British. Red velvet, I think felt is the correct term. Walls, no windows, mahogany trim, burgundy other color, very comfy leather chairs. And if you want to talk, there would be 100% soundproofed rooms that you could have normal conversation in. But if you were in the narthex or the atrium or the main part, you would have to keep it at a library tone voice. And you could come there to read. At them, you could smoke your pipe. You'd be allowed to bring in your pipe. It would be encouraged. Smoke your cigars. And you can read, you can type, kind of like a coffee store, except for heterosexual people. Except for men with their balls. For people who don't use Apple. And you would just sit and you would enjoy the pursuit of wisdom. The pursuit of intellectual stimulation, either through the consumption of books, audiobooks, smoking a pipe, philosophy, and you would be drinking scotch. Oh, I'm sorry, Glen Clarey. Because I can't call it scotch because it wasn't made in Scotland, you fucks. But that would be it. And you would just, and then if you want to have a conversation, there'd be private rooms you could have, or you'd have a minor, kind of like you're in the library kind of conversation. Say, Jim, did you read this podcast on Stoicism by Roosh? It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. You might want to tune. Okay, thanks. And you go back to nursing your Glen Clarey. Take a nice little puff on the pipe, contemplate what you just read. No fucking chatty teenage girls on their cell phones. No loud television with sports McAnalyst dickhead. Well, you see that the Vikings got to score more points to win more games, and if they would stop missing field goals, then they might make it to the Super Bowl. Well, Jim, we got to go. None of that. And no visual distraction with a bunch of tall, skinny people dribbling the orange sphere from one end to the other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. About as exciting as ping pong. Oh, look, he slammed the ball. Oh, with great force. He put the orange sphere through the red ring. Oh, man. Boy, none of that. The human brain would not be delayed or distracted from its pursuit of wisdom and intellectual stimulation. From scintillating conversation, it would not be delayed at all. I don't think one girl, well, okay, I take it back. There would be, some of you gals are actually cool enough, you would show up into this thing. I think a lot of you girls would like that. In my audience, anyway. But there'd be no Tina and Amy from USC. Oh my God, we live in Tempe, and we're majoring in sociology, and our dad bought us a Volvo. Oh, look at this. None of that shit. None of it. There'd be no dude bros with their hats on cheering on when the Wild hit the cylinder into the net. Oh, how'd that go, by the way? Did they let you down? Did a Minnesota sports franchise give you Minnesotans the blue balls just like the women do all the time? Do you guys not get it? They're employed by the same employer with the same mission statement. Professional sports teams in Minnesota and women in Minnesota are all programmed to give everybody blue balls. Did you not pick that up yet? So you dude bros are not allowed in. Oh yeah, woo! Fucking morons. What's that game you all play in the bars? It's in every bar, and now because of the internet, it's linked up. And you caveman cerebral fucks. I've seen it. They actually try to impress these girls. They take it so fucking seriously. It's, is it Buckshot or Deer Hunter? It's one of those things where there's a gun and you go and you shoot different wild game. Big hunt, big game. And you can have different scores, and they take themselves so seriously. They got this plastic gun, and oh man, they're so serious. Oh, they're gonna get that gun. It's like you haven't shot a real gun in your life except for that plastic little thing, haven't you? Yeah, that. There's no video games in the Quiet Bar, in Clarey's Quiet Bar. It's gonna be an establishment for true gentlemen, true kingsmen, and queens, ladies. Classy people. You're allowed to come in. There's a dress code. You sit. You can wear whatever's comfy, but you got to be dressed up a little bit. Women are allowed to come in. All right. Even you know, here's another. Okay. All right. Let me give you another thing. I saw The Getaway was some movie with Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine as well. Not Carl Reiner. It was an old, and they had the actor, if you guys saw John Wick 2, the weapons supplier, Mr. Wick. He was in that movie as well. I'm like, where have I seen that guy's face? Very interesting looking face. So for those of you that saw John Wick 2, the guy that he goes in to get the weapons, and he's like, something precise but discreet. Precise but discreet. That guy, almost like an Undertaker like a fellow, that would be the guy who would be serving you the drinks. He'd be very quiet, very polished, very refined, would know every high. He would know how to make a Manhattan. He would know how to make a martini. Mr. Clarey, welcome back. And it'd be like that. It'd be like the Syndicate, or what do they call it? Continental property. No fighting. No business is conducted on continental property. There'd be an element of the John Wick 2 thing going on. And I'd have these bars established in different areas. Now, here's where I'm not going to let you in on the little old captain entrepreneur. See, at any time, one of you rich guys want to go and start making bars like this, please do. Because I don't have the money or the time. And I would love to. I just want to enjoy it. But I got a better idea. See, you guys got to come up. You're going to take my idea and run with it. That's fine. That's fine. You go ahead. I'll give you this. You're just playing into my plan. It's where you put them. And that's where the old captain has a really genius idea. That's where the old captain's got an idea. But there's a problem. There's a logistical issue I got to work over. But man, would it be cool. And again, I'd probably need $1 billion and operate at a loss. It'd basically be my private club. But these are my 3 dreams. That's why. So I'd pull up in my classic car. I'd have in the car a whole thing of Clarey, or Glenn Clarey. I'd stock this Quiet Bar with it. And then I'd just sit there and we'd have books. We'd have lots of good books, great books you could read. But then there'd also be audiobooks. Excellent Wi-Fi, outstanding Wi-Fi. And a big-ass bouncer with guns. Lots of guns. No one is allowed into, no, private only, by invite only. No, you must be a better quality caliber of human to enter this bar. And don't worry, if you're a regular normal sheep, horking down your wings, wearing another man's jersey because you're a closet homosexual, you would not want to be in this bar. You would feel out of place. You would feel like the genuine retard that you are. Oh, I made state wrestling. Ooh. And that's your pinnacle achievement. Yeah, that's I actually have some friends who make state, but then they went on to do something else in their lives. But if that's your pinnacle achievement, like if your pinnacle achievement was something you did in high school, you will not feel welcome in this bar. If you were, I was going to say soap queen, but that's from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Prom queen, and that's your achievement. If you were in marching band and that was your achievement. If your sole achievement is that you got a master's degree but didn't fucking do anything with it, you will not be allowed or want to be in this bar. It is for the top notch, the elite, and I don't mean financially, I mean intellectually. Holy shit, could you, okay, hang on, let me think this through. Now listen to this. Okay, so we get this bar, right? I wish I could tell you the location, because then you'd be like, oh. And then we'd have you all lined up. But imagine if we had kind of like a meetup, but in this bar, we would have the following. We'd have me, of course, naturally, because there's no party without me. When we get Glorious Carl, we get Chris Beckloff, we get O'Shea Jackson, we get Rollo Tomasi, we get the great Matt Baldoni, we get, I'm just trying to think who else would be, you just get these intellectual titans to come in, and we're all sitting there, all fucking a Kingsman-like, with our red velvet smoking jackets, huh? Silk. We have our smoking jackets and our ascots. We get Kareem and Anas over there. They'd supply us with the fezzes. They're over in Morocco. And we just sit there like, fuck yeah. Look at us, dudes. We don't even have to do this. This is great. We just sit. We just sit and take ourselves and like, look at how fucking awesome this is. We don't have to lift a finger to be fucking awesome. And we're all just sitting there smoking our pipes, smoking our cigars, nursing our scotches, reading books, taking it easy, enjoying the science. Then I have a philosophy. Let's go into the philosophy chamber. We sit there, and we give each other, elitist names, even though we're not. We'd give you, Thaddeus, Shaz, Chip, Filbertson, yes. And then these cocksuckers, these actual Harvard graduates, you think they'd be allowed in? Well, I have a Harvard MBA. Oh, good for you. There's a fucking McDonald's. Go fucking manage that, dipshit. I work for Goldman Sachs. Yeah, well, get your ass back to the East Coast. You're not allowed in here. No one would get it. See, that's the thing. No one would understand. It would take genuine intelligence, original thought, original philosophy. Even Stefan Molyneux might show up and have a cocktail. He might say, and then you know what we would do? What we would do? This would be great. Stefan Molyneux would come up, and I'd instruct the bouncer, saying, when Molyneux shows up, okay, we'll have a silk robe all ready for him, but don't tell him that. I would go out and say, we get them all on camera. I go out and greet him, and I'd say, yes, hello, Stefan, nice to see you here. I'm sorry, but you have to do the right thing. In order for you to be here, you have to do the right thing and donate. Don't do that because it's theft. And then he'd actually maybe feel guilty and start to reach for your wallet. Just fucking with your stuff and get your fucking parasitic ass in here. Terrence Popp would be in there. Fucking, could you imagine Terrence Popp drunk? I mean, not drunk like he is. He's a little tipsy when he does his video, but hammered. We actually get him some Glenn Clarey. Oh, fuck, would that be a grand old party? Holy shit, would that be great. On all the fucking Ivy League pretty boys who sucking their daddy's dick over at the Carlyle Group or Cargill or other corporations that start with C. Say, why don't we let in? Go suck another Kennedy's dick, you little faggot. Oh, that'd be the dream. That's not a bad dream. Not a bad dream at all, I'd say. Working on, classic cars, making my own scotch, and having a really fucking cool, quiet library bar. That's nothing, I don't know what beats that. Don't know what beats that.